Namaskar, good morning, Ram Ram. Welcome to your own channel AC Astro. Video is about the most favorable planet in birth chart, Venus, going to be debilitated on 9th of October. But this analysis is threefold analysis because Venus is debilitated. This is true, but the exalted aspect will be there. And the third thing, Saturn will aspect Venus. So how your chart will tell you the results. Let's welcome Akashji from Calgary, Canada for all 12 ascendants, 12 signs. Namaskar, Ram Ram Akashji.
Namaskar, Rohitji, Ram Ram. Yes. Venus is entering into the sign of Virgo and it's going to be debilitated. So it does not mean that Venus is an enmity with Mercury, but yeah, it expresses its qualities not that great in the sign of Virgo. So we will understand and go point by point to see that what kind of results everyone will get. Before that, there is a small story. Now in Virgo, it's an earthly sign, right? So there was a pure white lotus growing in a clean well. Venus, in the what is the Venus loved the lotus for its beauty and joy. Mercury loved it for perfect shape and order. They were friends, but they argued about who should keep the lotus. Venus for love and celebration, or Mercury for learning and rules. So they went to Brahma to decide. Brahma listened and said, "The lotus grows from mud, rises through water, and opens to sunlight. It does not open for desire or for counting. It opens when we offer it with a pure heart." He asked them to place the lotus at the feet of the maiden of Virgo and walk away without looking back. They did as told. The well became brighter and the air felt much sweeter. Brahma said, "In Virgo, love must serve and the mind must surrender. Without offering, Venus turns dry and Mercury becomes very fussy. With offering, both becomes blessing." That's why people say that Venus is debilitated in Virgo, not because Mercury is an enemy, but because it is in Virgo, everything must be offered in service first and only then enjoyed. This lotus reminds us that real grace comes when we let go and offer desires first. That's why Venus is not an enemy of Mercury. In Virgo, when it gets debilitated, it's just saying that surrender comes first. Sometimes in this analytical sign, Venus does not have its qualities, absolute wonderful qualities to show everything outside. If you go into this story more deeper, later that lotus is again given to Brahma only, and Brahma sits on this lotus. So that is also called, the act of surrender to the higher purpose, for the higher purpose, for the creation. That is how it worked. Moving on to Aries ascendant, we will see that Venus is debilitated in the sixth house for you. When we look at the sixth house, it's the house of diseases, enemies, daily work and routines, even workplace. So here you will see that there can be some kind of challenges that we may have or start having in the workplace. Sometimes the luxury that we are trying to achieve from a workplace does not come very nicely here. In fact, it is also the point where we discuss about any kind of challenges. If you're going through court cases, any challenges, any problems related to enemies, it may be a very difficult period for you to manage, because here, if you're going through Venus Mahadasha Antardasha, then this becomes very challenging for you. Good news is for those people who are thinking of going to a foreign country. That is where the positivity is there. It is looking at the 12th house with an exalted aspect. So monetary gains in foreign countries is seen, but otherwise, if you're applying for a loan for debts, I think you should just not apply between 9th of October till 2nd of November. If you're going through Venus Mahadasha Antardasha, it can create some delays and challenges there, because aspected by Saturn also. Saturn is retrograde in that period, in that area right now in the 12th house and looking here. So this may also put a little bit extra burden on Venus. Venus is sitting 12th from the 7th house. Sometimes breaking up of a partnerships, breaking ups in relationships is a common factor when Venus is debilitated. So we need to be more mature, and act of surrender, as we learned in the story in the beginning, has to be there so that we can make the best use of this time. All the best. Have a great time. See you. For Taurus, the ascendant lord is in the fifth house. So it is kind of a blessing only when Venus goes into the stan of Mahalakshmi. But somehow in debilitated state, the ascendant lord is not able to give that absolute very great results. Sometimes challenges with children, challenge with your romantic love life, or sometimes lot of expectations in these areas can create, misfortunes, we can say. Better, this period is a period where you should not align yourself to too much expectations. It is better to rather do service for your children, service for your, your. This is also the house of romance. So in any partner, if you are not married yet, then service related to them as well is required. Now, ninth house is the house that is related to monetary aspects also in a very, very major way. This is the house that is related to speculative gains, stock market, share market, anything to do in terms of cryptocurrency. Everything will be seen from the fifth house, speculative gains. Here, not a very big and a very amazing time to get into speculation investments, fresh investment. That's what I'm saying. It is, if you're invested, just stay calm. That's my suggestion. Later, when we look at Venus, looking at the 11th house here, this is a house of gains, friends, wishes. So your creativity might not be that great, but support will be much greater from your social circle. There may be possibility that your friends, your colleagues are helping you. Even your elder siblings may come forward to help you to, reach one step closer to your goal. One thing that we see here for Taurus ascendant people is that because fifth house is the house of children, so sometimes comfort of children is also disturbed, or because of children's current suffering, or children going through a difficult time either in career, either in education, you may feel an overwhelming, state at the moment. But overall, it is a time to take a slow down in the area related to your, what is the love life, also area related to your speculative gains. That is where you have to be extra careful. All the very best. Take care, and I hope that big gains come to you because of the exalted aspect. But yeah, otherwise, be safe. Thank you. Gemini. Now, when we talk about Gemini rising here, oh sorry, Gemini rising here, we will see that this is the Kendra where Venus is debilitated. It is the fifth house lord, exactly 12th from itself, and the 12th house lord in the fourth house. So, some expenses are on your cards right now. Expenses related to home, expenses sometimes related to, we can say, children as well, because the fifth house lord is 12th from itself. Sometimes, even health wise, we are not feeling that great. See, fourth house is the house of your domestic luxury. And in that case, if Venus becomes debilitated here, it can create some challenges in the domestic luxury life. There may be some spending suddenly on your home, on your vehicles. Sometimes they may require extra effort, extra money, because expenses are going to be there on the rise. Your children may also show that you, either for education you may be going abroad, or maybe putting your efforts in a foreign country. That is one thing. Secondly, there can be possibility that your children are also possibly going abroad, which may create a little bit of expensive time for you guys. Overall, business and work will be very good. That is a very positive aspect of Venus, because Venus is looking with an exalted aspect on the 10th house. So work wise, it is a very positive time. But when it comes to career is very good. When it comes to home life, there will be a little bit of discomfort. Those who are working from home may feel very overwhelmed during this time. So that is also something to watch out for. Best thing to do during this time, whenever Venus is debilitated and you're going through Venus Mahadasha Dasha, to chant the name of Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi is the Ishta. That means she is the deity that Venus also prays to. So as you start praying to Mahalakshmi, Shreem, 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 or Om Mahalakshmi Namaha, then Venus starts becoming very, very active and positive for all the people in the world. So all the very best. Have a great time, and hope that this turns out to be a more positive time for your career, and the problems in the work, in the home, can be managed very easily. Thank you. For Cancer, we will see that Venus is debilitated in the third house. Now, third house is a very important house when we talk about your courage, when we talk about our siblings, when we talk about skill development, when we talk about our, personal interest, your hobbies and whatnot. Now, Venus here, if you look at the Lord of the fourth house and Lord of the 11th house is debilitated here. Now, this is also a very important house related to your communication. 11th house lord coming here debilitated signals and marks that sometimes communication may get misunderstood during this time, especially with your spouse, with your loved ones, in your home. Your contribution, your communication may feel a little bit extra overwhelming. With your siblings, there can be some kind of argument. Sometimes there can be some kind of uh, miscommunication that can lead to long-term problems. So things are looking little bit of challenging only for all the Cancer ascendant people here when it comes to communication. Third house is a house of short distance travel. If there is any short distance travel between 9th of October till 2nd of November for a short period of time, or maybe very, very quick, if you are going somewhere near, maybe in an intercity or something like that, that may be also overwhelming. You may feel extra tired during this time because Venus is debilitated in the third house. Those who generally have this placement in this, they may feel more intense, prabhava, or we can say more intense results during this time. But one positive thing that is happening is that your destiny is going to be in full power. Whatever mishap is happening, Venus is looking with an exalted eye on the ninth house of your destiny. So your destiny will be an exact powerful placement. Venus can create a little bit of challenges when it comes to your social media. So be very careful about your social media. What are you writing? Because your writing can bring discomfort to some other person, and that discomfort can be for you for emotionally it may be discomforting for you as well. So be very careful what you post on your social media. 11th house lord in the third house debilitated. This is important. Now, one more thing here, because if you're thinking of doing any kind of education, higher education, this is the right time to research about it, or maybe even get into such, new ventures of education. One thing that we will see here and very commonly seen, that when Venus is debilitated in the third house, your wishes, your career, your courage, sorry, your courage becomes very, very debilitated. You don't feel like taking action. So here, this is consciously, if you're going through Venus Mahadasha Antardasha, consciously put effort so that you can feel much better. All the very best. See you in the next transit. For Leo ascendant people, here the debilitated Venus is happening in the second house. So it's the career lord. Absolutely career lord. There is also, it is the third house lord, exactly 12th from itself. Sometimes siblings, younger siblings may have a little bit of challenge during this time. They may have a little bit of losses, sometimes money losses, because the third house lord is in the second house. During what do you say, expenses related to travel, expenses related to any kind of contracts, government related stuff can happen during this time. Also, the 10th house lord is in the second house debilitated. In career also, you may face some losses, some kind of challenges. Sometimes overcommitment can create extra burden on you, because second house is also the house where you are maintaining your dignity, your, we can say, your status. So somehow the value system that you have may get challenged or get overwhelming. It will get overwhelming during this time. A debilitated Venus does not mean always bad. It means that surrender comes first. So this means that if second house is a house related to family, your money matters, anything that has to do with your, we can say, family, money matters, anything that has to do with your investments. So in those areas, we have to slow down. We have to not overcommit. For investments, also don't overcommit. For debts, also don't overcommit. For, we can say, about, I'm going to give you this, that, what not, don't overcommit, because this period is not a very great period. If by chance you're going through Venus Mahadasha Antardasha, then you should be very careful about any commitments. You will not be able to fulfill between 9th of October till 2nd of November. So that's how this period is going to be working out for you. Good news for people, those who are in occult business, those who are in research, those who are in analytical fields. See, right now Saturn is retrograde in the eighth house. As it receives aspect of Venus, Saturn will start getting too strengthened here, very powerful. And also, this is an exalted aspect of Venus in the eighth house. So everything related to the losses, if there is any journey that you're on, if there is any bad habits that is going on, it's a very great time to transform yourself. Very beautiful time for transformation, and taking up surrendering your old habits and getting into new ones. Not going to gym, this, that, whatnot. This is the time to actually take action. But overall, very beautiful period. Not a challenge. When it comes to the eighth house, research will be at the top level. Those who are in occult business, medical research, those who are in insurance, finance business, their business goes up. So there is a somewhere it is positive as well, not always negative. All the very best. Have a great time and see you in the next transit. For Virgo rising, this is the ascendant where Venus, the lord of your ninth house and the second house, becomes debilitated. Sometimes because of our own mistakes, or sometimes because of our own attitude or behavior, we we cause or we invite trouble into our life. And this is exactly that period. Second house lord, exactly 12th from itself. Whenever second house lord is in the ascendant, in such cases sometimes we become a reason for family loss also. Like sometimes because of our actions the family also has to suffer. So that is something that we need to be more careful about. Venus, debilitated Venus in the first house, demands lot of surrender of ego, lot of surrender of your what do you say, of the proud behavior that we have. Remember, we are all made from ashes, we'll go to the ashes. So everything is very temporary. Very temporary. Right now, this time also is very temporary. So we want to make sure that this time we surrender our ego, surrender our attitude, surrender our, that the ego that we call self-esteem. So that is the time that you have to surrender these things, because positively, Venus here is the ninth house lord in the, like, it's a Trikona lord in the Kendra. So it creates a very powerful transformation kind of a scenario for you guys. On top of that, Venus is looking at the seventh house with an exalted aspect, where in the Kendra, at the moment, Saturn is in very, very retrograde motion. So here you get a lot of support from partners. The slowness in partnership, the slowness in monetary benefits from partners, from spouse, also now becomes much more enlightened. You may start receiving great results from those areas. So overall, it's a beautiful time when it comes to transforming yourself, surrendering ego. But yes, because Venus is here, so you may feel very lazy, sometimes not want to self groom, and sometimes want to completely just relax, lie down, not do anything. These are the things that may come across during this time as a result of Venus debilitated. Take proper action, and all the best for this time. Have a, I would suggest, have a very enlightening transit. Every transit brings you closer to God, because there is some new experience which will make you invoke spiritually. All the best. For Libra, now see, your ascendant lord has gone to the 12th house and debilitated. Now, it is good for workplace. It is good for workplace. In workplace, there may be lot of possibility of changes. If there is any challenges that is related to enemies, someone who is trying to create challenges for you in your workplace, politics, this is a time that they should be very careful, because your stars are in very much power. But somehow, this is the time of expenses. When the ascendant lord and eighth house lord goes to the 12th house, sudden expenses are seen. Sometimes expenses can be for your own self also. Sometimes for your what you say, Libra ascendant are the most beautiful ones. So sometimes it can be related to your beauty, related to your physical outlook, related to yourself. Like something that I wanted to buy something. This is the time to make a small practice that luxury over necessity. That is important. Those who are thinking of getting into Botox, any kind of treatment related to skin, this, that, whatnot, should avoid, because when the ascendant lord goes 12th from itself, and this is the period of even some problems in the body, some health problems which may take you towards a hospital or a clinic or stuff like that. If you're going for normal, genuine blood checkup, very good. If you're suffering from a very, very difficult period related to health, you may find some relief here as well. But now, 12th house is the house of expenditure, sometimes to do with sleep. So sleep pattern may get too much disturbed. Lot of feelings of why am I like this, why I am not having luxury, why I am not able to make good money, this, that, lot of things related to the ascendant, that means your lagna can come. Investments related things may also come up. Since 8th house Lord is in the 12th house and making a Vipreet Raj Yoga, this is a time that very great time for transformation related to bad habits, related to, the fear, the hidden enemies and all may come on surface, and you may be able to overcome a lot of things this time. Sleep pattern, because it is sleep pattern, may get disturbed. You may have vivid dreams, sometimes, scary dreams as well, because it is being aspected by what you say Saturn here. Saturn is putting an aspect on what you say Venus, so somewhere you get fear kind of dreams also possible. But overall, let's look at the positive side. It is a very important time for you to go one step closer towards spirituality and start understanding that life is little bit more than your 9 to 5 job or than your responsibilities. It is something for yourself also. Try to reflect inside. Go into some meditative state and try to understand that how can I make my life much more meaningful and better. Okay. All the very best. Take care. Scorpio rising, we will see that when we talk about Scorpio here, the Venus is getting debilitated in the 11th house of your gains and your social circle. Venus being the 7th and the 12th house Lord can bring sometimes losses here, or sometimes challenges in partnerships as well when it comes to your social circle. So your social circle becomes the area of focus from where the challenges can come. Now, even if such challenges are coming, it is more for transformation sometimes, because the 12th house Lord is in the 11th house, exactly 12th from itself. You even, have losses in a foreign country, challenges in a foreign country. Those who are going through not Venus Mahadashanta Dasha, they may have less effects, but if you're going through Venus Mahadashanta Dasha, you may have more effects of losses in a foreign country. Losses somewhere very far away, scams, people taking money and running away. That kind of scenario is what we can look at during this transit of Venus. Venus in the 11th house, also be very careful when sweet people in the social circle are acting too sweet with you. Anyone who's acting too sweet, too nice, too kind is a red flag. There is some hidden agenda here. Otherwise, no one will act that sweet. So these are the things to be taken care of. Your elder siblings may also not come into any kind of, guidance right now. So it is, in fact, your colleagues, your in the social circle, try to avoid everything possible. Even on social media, if you're trying to grow somewhere, this is also a time where you have to be extra careful. Now, the good part of Venus looking at the 5th house in an exalted manner, where Saturn is retrograde, gives a lot of strength to Saturn. In fact, give a lot of strength to your children, to your love life, and in fact, to your monetary gains related to the share and the stock market. So if you're in any kind of equity business, any kind of share stock market, anything that requires speculation, speculative gains, you may see a powerful and a very, very enlightening time in those areas. Your luck will be very good, but again, we want to be very careful about the people in the social circle who are trying to fake themselves. Okay. All the very best. Have a great time and see you in the next transit. Now, Sagittarius rising, we will see that here 10th house is where Venus comes in the sign of Virgo and completely becomes debilitated. In such case, when we look at this placement, Venus is the lord of the 6th house in the 10th house, and Venus is also the lord of the 11th house. Sometimes promised gains in your or promised things in your workplace might be denied here. There may be denial in the workplace or place of your work in the career area. You may not feel that empowered during this time. It is more of a time of lot of surrender, lot of sacrifice. May it be power, may it be your rank, maybe with your job. So lot of sacrifice in those areas have to be made. This is not the right time to fight as well, because see, the lord of the 6th house is debilitated. So how will you win over enemies during this time? So it is not a very great time to fight. In fact, it is a great time for understanding or getting more closer to your family, to your home, because here is where Venus will be putting an exalted aspect to take more energy, more power, more guidance from your family members, from your mother, if you have right now. That is where you will see that lot of support is coming from. Those who are working from home, a very beautiful time. Those who are working from a physical location in an office or something like that, you may feel a little bit of overwhelmed. in your workplace. Those who are working from home may find all their ways to go around things and make the better for themselves. Now, Venus in the 10th house, especially being the 11th house Lord, 12th from itself, sometimes it gives you social defame, or sometimes because of your actions, your. See, Venus in this chart rules the 6th house. 6th house is also the house where you are in a daily routine, or where you're in a workplace, where you're in health, stuff like that. In fact, 11th house is a house related to what you speak in a social circle. So sometimes because of gossip also, it can give you some defame or some losses. Maybe you said something to someone and later you find them sitting next to a chair next day, that okay, you know what, I am the one who's going to making a decision for you. So be very careful when it comes to your social surroundings. Don't try to do gossip, backbiting, or whatever you guys call politics. Avoid such things, which is going to be in your favor then. Okay, all the very best. Have a great transit and see you in the next transit. Very good time for even a purchase of a home. Huh? So if anyone is thinking of purchase of home or vehicle or upgrading something, absolutely great time. So go for it. That is not a problem. If you're trying to acquire a loan, it may be a little bit of difficult during this time because 6th house Lord is debilitated. But for the home matters, Venus may do every struggle possible and give you great results. All the best. Now, Capricorn. Here, when we look at Capricorn, here Venus is debilitated in the 9th house. 9th house is the house of your destiny, and here Venus is a Yoga Karaka. In this chart, if Yoga Karaka becomes debilitated, it is a challenging situation because 9th house, the house of devotion, father, the house of your higher knowledge, and everywhere the yoga, the career lord is debilitated. Sorry to say, but sometimes 10th house Lord 12th from itself can also create some job losses. Sometimes job loss, sometimes challenges in your workplace, sometimes change in your workplace, sudden changes in your workplace is going to happen. But whatever happens will happen for something higher, something good. This is a time to completely surrender on the feet of your guru, completely surrender and completely show devotion towards the Holy Supreme, the Lord, whatever you believe in. It is also the time that you may feel a little bit of overwhelming when it comes to studies. You may feel that, oh my god, I'm going crazy, how do I study, how do I go forward? So those who are students may feel a little bit overwhelmed. Now, what to do in such situation or such time? See, this is 5th house Lord sitting 5th from itself, so education can get a little tampered. Even children, the things related to children, if you're going through Venus Mahadashanta Dasha, this applies, otherwise not a very big deal. Children may also feel a little bit of overwhelming during this time. Now, because Venus is looking at the 11th house here, or at the 3rd house here, sorry. Here, this brings an exalted aspect on the 3rd house of your courage. So, this is a time to show courage and take action. Even if you're not able to study and all, still try, show courage, take action. At least, out of 100%, you'll not be able to get 100%, but at least 100, at least 20 also we don't want to waste time during this time. We want to show extreme courage. Take the help of your younger siblings, because see, it is looking at the 3rd house, younger siblings, or maybe your friends who are just like your siblings. Those who are in social media business, they may expand during this time. So please be very, very motivated to do such things. Also, I suggest that it is a time that is calling you between 9th of October till 2nd of November for a short distance travel that may give you more insights, more learnings. So please go for such kind of, you know, possible ways, possible places. Great time to take action, but surrender in the feet of your lotus feet of your guru. That will be making you much more powerful and happy during this time. Nothing better than the feet of guru. All the best. See you in the next transit. For Aquarius rising people, we will see that the event is happening in the 8th house. 8th house is where Venus becomes debilitated. Now, we must have all heard that 8th house is the house of transformation, transformation, transformation. So, somehow, remember, transformation does not come that easy. Now, 8th house is the house that is related to extreme grinding, extreme depth of our lives, extreme, we can say, everything extreme can be seen from the 8th house. Someone gets extreme rich, 8th house. Someone gets extreme poor, 8th house. Someone suddenly gets a lottery, 8th house. Someone suddenly loses everything, 8th house. That's why it's called the house of ups and downs. Now here, this is the place where yoga karaka, your bhagya lord, your 4th house lord, goes to the 8th house. So where we will see major challenges. According to Parashara Rishi, he writes that whenever the 9th house lord is 12th from itself, it creates loss in bhagya, loss in destiny. So that means when there is loss in destiny, effort have to be put in the maximum force. Sometimes your destiny does not work accordingly. Sometimes your education or your fanatic behavior may make you lose, or maybe you are not want to research, you just want to come on that point, no, this is what my religion says, this is what my this says, and that can create sometimes some losses. So principles always needs to be altered depending on the situation you are in. That is what Venus teaches in the 8th house. In 8th house, more of the transformation will come related to your with your in-laws. Some kind of pending karmas can come up on surface with your in-laws. Sometimes with your, well, in your shared resources, if there is anything that is going on between, you know, inheritance or stuff like that, you may have, it may come on surface right now, which may create much more, what you say, much more research required in those areas. As well as when it comes to your home, your mother, there may be sudden ups and downs in their health or in their life pattern also right now. So there are so many things to look up to during this time of Venus transit. If your Venus Mahadasha Antardasha is going on, then these things become very primary focus for you. If this is not Mahadasha Antardasha, then in Pratyansha Sukshma Dasha, Venus is there for a very small period of time. It's not going to do that much problems for you. But overall, one good thing that is happening is that Venus is looking at the second house in an exalted manner. Now, here Saturn is sitting, which is retrograde in motion. So Saturn gets very great comfort when Venus looks at it with an exalted aspect. And here, second house is the house of money, your wealth, your bank balance. Because of the grinding, because of so much research and all, that improves for you. Your bank balance improves. There is possibility of getting great news from your family. Some big family disputes that have been going for a very long time may come to surface, may come to rest during this period. Your See, sometimes your investments mature during this time, so please have a look about your investments, at what investments have you done, where is it, and are they maturing at any certain given time right now. So things are positive only, it's not bad, but only thing is that more overwhelming when it comes to a yoga karaka becoming debilitated. It can create some kind of putting extra effort in the area related to your research. Those who are in occult business, occult sciences, those who are in medical research may find this period very overwhelming. And if they grind properly, they completely go devote themselves, then this is going to be much more positive for you people. All the best. Have a great transit, transform your life, and let's meet in the next video. For Pisces, we will see that Venus is getting debilitated in the 7th house. Now, 7th house is a very important house, especially with the significator being Venus only. Here, Venus says that okay, this house is the house related to love, relationships, partnerships, and these are the common traits of Venus. So, what gets affected here? Especially, see, number one is that Venus is the 3rd house lord. So, any partnerships, especially from coming from brothers to brothers, friends to friends, may get affected here, and that can also bring you a little bit of small time social defame. This person did to me, this is my brother, but he cheated on my back, whatnot. So such kind of things can happen. Even from the in-laws side, the 8th house lord sitting 12th from itself, if you have in-laws, you may have a little bit of challenge in that area as well. Losses from in-laws, or sometimes your in-laws may require some extra help from your side. Now this is the time that you have to choose between either your spouse or in-laws. So sorry, spouse and in-laws both. You cannot choose between them. If you want to keep your spouse happy, you have to help your in-laws, or agree to the in-laws. But okay, going more deeper into it, we will see that this is 7th house, is the house of associations, house of even house of pada prapati. That means some designation that we were supposed to receive. Sometimes, if such thing were promised during this time, you may get a no as an answer. Sometimes, if you were doing some travel with your partner, there may be some challenges in those areas as well. Now, these are challenges, but not a very good time to sign new contracts, not a very good time to get into new commitment, new partnership, because your Venus is debilitated in the seventh house. You will not be able to make the right decision for your communication. And because of things done during this time, ups and downs can happen overall whenever this things is happening. So, marriage wise, also, if you're getting married or etc. during this time and going through Venus Mahadasha Antardasha, it may cause trouble, long term trouble. So, marriage, engagement, commitments should be avoided when Venus is debilitated. It is a common thumb rule for Venus. Now, what Venus does in a very positive way? In a positive way, Venus is looking at the first house. That means your mind, your attitude, your self realization. Everything comes to maturity level. If you're going through Venus Mahadasha Antardasha, maturity level will be too high during this time. You will start realizing that everything that is happening is very temporary and cannot affect my life for a very long time. See, sometimes challenges happen. I was reading Elon Musk. He tweeted something and then his net worth went like some 130, 40 billion down. I don't know how much money. Oh, ups and downs keep happening. For us, our net worth is $100,000. It may come to 80,000 to 70,000. Then again, it will go up. So sometimes in this situation, your you know what you say, your attitude and your mind becomes too extremely analytical and powerful. Venus putting an aspect on the Lagna where Saturn is retrograde gives power to Saturn as well. Here Venus says that, you know what, may whatever problem it is, doesn't matter. I am going to look at it in a very, very nice way, and maybe rather than crying over the problem, this is a time to think, analyze, and then act so that we can get out of this trouble. So the problems coming to your lives because of Venus debilitated is a very good thing, because it will give you power of thinking, power of changing your attitude and the way you look at problems to solve them and say that this is how the Vipreet condition happens. Problem happens and you are solving it nicely. All the very best. I know it's a little bit of overwhelming transit, but still, Mahalakshmi, Om Mahalakshmi Namaha, or the word Bija mantra of Mahalakshmi, that is stream, will give power to Venus and it will be much more pleasing for you. All the best. Thank you so much. Om Guruve Namaha. Thank you, Rohit ji, as well.
Thank you, Akashji, for this timely predictions for Venus debilitation and a beautiful remedy also. Shrim, Shrim, Shrim is the mantra we all will chant. Thank you very much. We'll meet you in some next video. Till then, Jai Shri Ram. Jai
Jai
Hanuman.
Hanuman, Jai Mata Di,
Jai
Jai Malakshmi. Om Namah
Namaskar.
Shivaya. Namah Shivaya.